welcome everyone. Welcome to our panelists and also the viewers of this segment. My name is Lyda Borgstein. I am the team lead and account executive for the Central Eastern European team at HubSpot, and I'm your host today. The session today, so this is very much aimed at giving you an inside look into HubSpot, into working at sales, women in sales, and specifically also an inside look into our HubSpot CEE team, which is quite unique given that we are majority a female-led team and a kick-ass team at that. So I guess to kick off, maybe we'll do a quick introduction. So to kick off, I'll start myself. My name is Lyda, like I said. I'm in HubSpot 3 years now. I've worked in a lot of different roles across the sales floor. I started as a BDR and then transitioned into an account executive working the Nordics market and now the CEE market. And it's been a truly great experience to date, having the experience to work at HubSpot, but also seeing all the different areas across sales. And yeah, I guess today I'm joined by 3 other amazing women who form part of our team, and we're going to talk and share a little bit about our experience. But maybe just to kick off, we'll do a quick round of introductions. Jurate, will you take us through the first introduction? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Hey guys, my name is Jurate. I'm a senior account executive here at HubSpot, and I've joined the company a year and a half ago. So my personal story, it's a funny one. I'm in sales over 15 years, and most of it has been in a senior managerial roles. I wanted to get into software sales for financial reasons, obviously, for probably the last 7 years. And I was willing to really kind of go down to a single contributor role in order to jump industries. So it was a big move for me. So because bulk of my sales experience was in media sales, and any software company that I applied for wouldn't even give me an interview. So, and the few that did didn't hire me because based on lack of SaaS experience. And when I say I was in sales, like my resume was just impeccable. Like I had really like long and solid management and sales resume, and I was looking for single contributor role, and still nobody hired me. So to say that it was super frustrating would probably be an understatement. So anyways, I didn't give up. I went back to college to finish my degree, and I continued to apply to companies that I really wanted to work for. And guess what? I did get a call from HubSpot recruiters, and our current CE manager, Clara Jane Manning, has seen something in me that nobody else did in SaaS industry. And she decided to take a gamble on me. And guess what? So I'm in here a year and a half. I am on 140% of my H1 target, and I am successful in my role. So my advice to you as a fellow female salesperson is don't ever give up and always push forward. Thanks, Lyda.
Amazing, amazing, Jurate. It's such an interesting story and background. I'm always in awe when I listen to it again. Diana, let's hear from you.
Hey guys, my name is Diana. I'm CE Senior Account Executive as well. I've been with HubSpot since January 2020, so a year and a half. My story is a bit different because I've been the standard software candidate. I've been working in software sales for the past 15 years. But at the same time, when you have this level of expertise, clearly you are targeted by a lot of software companies. And funny story, I was actually approached by a HubSpot recruiter the exact day when I had my final interview with another software company. So this made my decision a bit difficult, but looking back, choosing HubSpot was the best decision I ever took for my career. So 1 year and a half ago, I decided to just move to Ireland, change everything, new culture, new company, and I've never looked back since. I've been promoted after 9 months, so it was quite a speedy jumpstart. And I recommend everyone to just apply, take it for a spin, see if this fits you, and I guarantee that it's a very fulfilling position for a sales professional. Go for it, guys.
Amazing. Also, like, I love the fact that, yeah, you had another offer already to move to somewhere else, and then had to, reached perfect timing on our part.
The inbound method works for HR as well.
Great. And Aine, let's hear from you.
Yeah, hi, my name is Aine. I'm working here also in the CE team. 2 weeks ago was my HubSpot anniversary. It came to the week of rest. We had 1 week off the entire business, so nobody congratulated me, but afterwards, thanks God. So yeah, I've been working in sales for like 7 years now. I started in recruitment, so a bit differently, but honestly, it's the same sales, and in more typical sales now for 4 years. I have been quite happy in my previous company. It was like last year in March, but then COVID hit, and then 80% of the Dublin office got fired. I got my boyfriend got fired in the same day as well from his business, so we literally just took it as an opportunity to just like spend a couple of months' time, just like play games, go walk, eat, drink, just enjoy life. And parallel, also looking for a job. So I took that also as an opportunity to go into SaaS. And as Jurate said, it is harder to get a job there when you don't have experience, because the sales is very different. It's like a longer commitment. It's often upfront payment. There's a lot of people in discussion, like from procurement, to legal and finance. So it was definitely something I wanted to learn. And that's why I was particularly looking into SaaS businesses. And the other thing is I worked UK, US businesses, but most of my 4 years career I worked the German business. So DACH region, because I speak German as well, and it's nice market. There's definitely a lot of money in it, but it got a bit boring for me. So I wanted to kind of now the challenge. I wanted to speak Russian because it's my first language, and it got really rusty because I barely speak to anyone Russian. So I decided to look into jobs where I would potentially use it, not fully, but like partly to kind of start going. And that's why the CE market was the perfect one. One day you can speak to somebody from Romania, then Ukraine, Poland, it's very different personalities. You learn so much about different cultures. And this is something I personally really like, to learn about different cultures. And it was the perfect opportunity to do that. And yeah, 1 year here in HubSpot, and I'm very happy. So looking forward for next years to come.
Love it. Amazing. No, that's great. Thank you, guys. And I think I draw a lot of parallels. And for me, the thing I love the most is hearing the diversity and the varied background from everyone. Some people coming in with sales experience, others not, some changing industries, moving countries. Myself as well, I never thought I could do sales. It was never a job I was looking for or trying to apply to. And my background is very mixed. I didn't have specific sales experience. I kind of came from working initially out of college in management consulting, then running my own business, or trying to run a couple of different businesses. I still run one today in terms of a CrossFit gym. And also then after my master's, I went back to college, did a master's, and only then did I kind of come across sales as an opportunity. And for me, the thing that was very interesting about this role in general was that it was almost like running your own business, but still, working under a big brand. And because of the flexibility and being able to, manage your time, manage your book, have targets. And at the beginning, it was terrifying, but that was also part of the reason why I kind of jumped in with both feet. Because I also felt that sales was everywhere. You couldn't avoid it, especially if you wanted to run your own business or be successful in that you had to learn how to have those conversations. And because I was scared of it, I also wanted to take on that challenge. And then when I found HubSpot, the most attractive thing to me was the software. I just was in awe of it. I thought it was amazing. It solved all these problems. I had some marketing experience. So for me, I was like, wow, this tool is incredible. So when I saw the opportunity to join the company, I was like, okay, this would be a great, start in terms of building my career and trying to, do sales. And I haven't looked back in the 3 years. Of course, it comes with its challenges but also some great rewards. So maybe let's move into kind of looking a little bit more in depth at the team. So I think as a typical team structure, the CEE team, like I said, is quite unique in that we are majority females. But other than that, we do kind of fit the typical mold of the HubSpot sales team. We have similar targets. We are doing really well at the moment. I think we're tracking above 130% on average as a team. And our team is rapidly growing, and it is the CEE market is an emerging market at HubSpot. And I think we've touched on it as well, talking about ourselves. We cover different regions, different countries, but also we have experience with different backgrounds and also different languages. So I think it's really great to have that on a team, that we're so varied and diverse. But yeah, maybe Aine, do you want to take us through just what does a typical day look like for you in your role?
Yeah, I think when I then she just saw my CV and saw that I'm working the German market, she was like, she knows how to organize herself. And especially because we are kind of working on a monthly targets while still looking like quarterly, even yearly plans, it is very important to have your own structure. But as Lyda said, like everyone has like their own way of doing it. So I really like to have it structured, so I know exactly what to do. And you know, when I have my blog closed for calling, or tell my colleagues, no, don't even like Slack me because I'm focusing on that. I also close it for, you know, clients can't just like book calls, so they can only book calls a specific period of time. So I'm really have my week planned properly. So usually on Monday, it's the day where I don't book anything until it's like very important demos or any kind of discussions, business consideration calls with clients, you know, financial discussions, they're good things of signing contracts. But otherwise, I usually keep Monday for, you know, checking my emails, kind of planning my week. We have usually our meeting as well on Monday, and then also looking kind of prospecting, doing my research, and this kind of focusing that kind of my Monday, so I'm not like too stressed starting into a week. Tuesday, Thursday is usually my big calling days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because yeah, morning is usually for like cold calls for anyone who's like not expecting my call, because that's the way of nature of sales. That's the best way to get things done. And afternoon are usually for like discovery calls, demos, calls with customers or existing customers. And I usually have my morning blocks closed for calling until something really emergency come up and I have like a big deal which I need to call. And Friday morning is usually calls because everybody loves Friday, so everybody is very happy I book a lot of calls on Friday actually for the week coming up. And afternoon, usually after 1, I do planning for next week. I check LinkedIn again, post stuff. I also do any kind of trainings, any product updates, because HubSpot is an amazing tool. It has a lot of things always in the process. I always do like product updates. I check everything what's coming up, so I know exactly what's happening. So, and I'm not too stressing because, you know, I don't have to call any phone. I don't have to do any urgent emails. So I'm really focusing on kind of product knowledge at that time. So this is how I structure the day. I think a lot of people do kind of similar, but everybody has their own favorite way of like when to call, when to email, when to do LinkedIn. But from what I saw, like usually from the team structure, everybody has kind of blocks fixed for things. I think that's the best way to keep track.
Yeah, exactly. I think your kind of hyper structured approach is amazing. I was jotting down some notes of what I could take away. I love hearing how people structure their day. It goes back to this thing of we are effectively our own kind of business owners. So as much as we have our targets and we have, you know, kind of similarities as a team across that point, how we hit that target, yeah, we can manage our day, manage our week, and everyone has a slightly different approach. Of course, we do the same types of activities, but it's always really interesting to see how that varies ever so slightly between individuals. But I think the biggest takeaway is that, yeah, you have to learn to structure. Otherwise, there's so much involved in terms of learning, calling, you know, follow-up conversations, closing deals, kicking off new conversations. It is really important to have some sort of structure in place and finding what works for you. And of course, we have a wonderful system to help us manage that. But no, that's great. Thank you for that. I mean, okay, if we spin a little bit, if we look at what are some of the challenges around this? So, or even taking it a little bit further in terms of a bigger challenge, or what some of the kind of things that we've overcome working in this job. Because like I said, there's highs, there's amazing highs, but there's also some lows, and there's constantly things that we're trying to work through, overcome, and, you know, we're working on monthly targets, quarterly, things are changing all the time. Jurate, what's been one of the biggest challenges or a challenge that you faced in your sales career to date?
Great question, Lyda. There are good few challenges when you're changing industry, but I think the very main challenge for me, and the biggest challenge in this current role has to be realizing when prospects are using you as a free advisor and they have no interest in buying a product whatsoever. Because my previous experience, again, as I said, was in media sales, anyone I spoke to had some sort of interest in buying what I was selling. They never just wanted to engage with me for the sake just of engagement, right? Or just for my own knowledge alone. So, but when you're selling HubSpot product, you become somewhat of an expert in sales and marketing operations, and you get to know so much about the best marketing and sales strategies, or how to align teams for best performances and all that good stuff. And that is super important information to know for someone that's running a business, right? So naturally, the business owners might be, selfish at some points, and they're just using you really for your information. So at a HubSpot, someone that you think is a potential customer could really have no interest in actually buying a product and only really picking your brain for ideas, and you end up with no sale. You spend a lot of time and you invest a lot of time in that particular company. And as you said, Lyda, before, it's like running your own business, right? So if you're not spending your time on the correct prospects, you end up with no sales. So it's obviously impacting your take home. So to be able to differentiate that has taken me a really long time, because, 15 years of experience in a very different environment, it would take you a long time to change that. So how I overcome that, a few months ago, we actually had a training, here at HubSpot, we had Sandler training. And that really helped me to understand when someone is a potential customer or just looking for free advice. And if there's anyone out there struggling with similar issues as I did, or if you're thinking of changing industry and that was your previous sales experience, there's a book that Sandler has. It's called You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. I highly, highly, highly recommend. So yeah, that's my challenge. Lyda, what about you? You obviously, like, HubSpot is a challenging career to be in, but you're also running a business. How do you manage your life and work balance?
Yeah, great question. Manage is a fine word. No, it's great fun. And I think what you mentioned there really, really resonated with me. Just to put it into one sentence, it's using your time wisely, and realizing that your time is a really valuable asset. So the better you can manage it, the better the return, obviously, in terms of your role in sales. But also in my case, I'm kind of juggling a couple of things, or a couple of projects. So Jurate, like you mentioned, I have a business outside of HubSpot. So myself and my husband own a CrossFit gym. We've had it for going on 7 years now, and it's something that I'm still very much involved with. Although for the most part, I think what's been great to allow me that flexibility is having a team, both inside of HubSpot in terms of helping me in my growth and development in my career, but then outside with the business, we have a great team. So I'm very much more in a coaching role, kind of higher level director, managing things. I'm not involved in day-to-day stuff as much as I used to be. And it's been great to have that. And then in terms of the other aspects, so obviously having a passion, both from in all aspects of what I do, a passion to grow and develop in my career, a passion for hitting quota, hitting targets. And then also with CrossFit, obviously I'm very much passionate about fitness. I think the whole team knows about CrossFit at this point. I talk about it all the time.
No, what?
So I think that is really important in terms of doing something well. You have to be passionate about it and find a love for it. But the final piece is the flexibility. And I have to say, this is where HubSpot really stands out for me as a company. I've worked in other corporates before, and I have, some experience with that. And I really have to say HubSpot has been so different with the flexibility that this role and this company allows the employees to have. It's truly a place where you feel valued, and that where the team is constantly trying to make things easier for you rather than harder. So for example, I know right now with COVID, for the most part, we are all at home, but we have developed a kind of a future path that will have different elements or different types of flexibility. So employees will be able to choose, do they stay fully in the office? Do they work flexi, or do they want to stay fully at home? This is obviously for future when the office reopens. But I think that's fantastic to have room to be able to decide and not be confined to having to do things a certain way when something else might work better for you. And then the other amazing thing, which I just can't wait to take advantage of later this year, is that we are currently able to spend up to 90 days abroad, working from a different country of our choice. So this has been fantastic for people who have relocated to Ireland and want to maybe go home and spend some time at home with family. Or potentially if you're, more flexible with your lifestyle right now and want to travel and work from abroad. So my family have a house in Cyprus, so I'm hoping that at the end of the year I'll be able to go and spend a couple of weeks working from there and get some sunshine.
Jealous.
So I think that's just fantastic to be able to have that, to be able to manage your time and use your time wisely, but have flexibility to also relocate or be in different locations to do that.
Yeah, incredible.
And it's definitely not a given. Like you saw a lot of companies at the beginning of the pandemic, they were very vocal, like, yeah, we'll let people be flexible, work from home. And then a lot of them start taking it back. And I see more and more companies being very vocal, saying maybe like, I don't know, 2 days max working from home, or, certain days a month. So it's definitely not given.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I guess it kind of comes to that topic of growth and professional development. And we have this amazing environment at HubSpot. We have so much room to grow, to, get promotions, to move vertically, horizontally, diagonally, whatever way you want. But Diana, maybe talk to me a little bit about how do you view your career growth and professional development at HubSpot?
So I must admit, it's been quite interesting. I didn't expect such an accelerated growth path. Working in this industry for so long, obviously, I'm looking for a few things, right? I want to sell a product that's interesting, that's liked by our prospects, which HubSpot is definitely amazing to sell. It's amazing to sell, to call a prospect, sell to a company, and they immediately recognize the brand, they recognize the product, which makes our lives so much easier and a lot more pleasant to sell at the end of the day. So beyond this, again, as I'm working for a while in sales now, I want to reach my targets, and I must say that targets are easy to achieve and overachieve. And as a result, I got my first promotion after only 9 months in the role, 6 months just being the ramp up. 9 months got my first promotion, and I'm getting ready to get the second one now. And what I must underline, this also comes with some very cool perks. So guys, join us and you're gonna see what we're talking about. So this comes with some really, really cool perks, and you feel motivated to just hit that number over and over again and push forward, because there's a very clear way of understanding what you need to do to get to the next step of your sales journey. So this is it for me, guys.
I can't wait for your next promotion when you buy a full drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's so true. I think you touch on a really important point there. That was really something else that I value a lot coming into this role, is the clarity of knowing how to hit your promotion, that it's a very clear path and you have a lot of control, nearly full control over it. And I think that was really important to me, coming from working in other places where it was a different style, different journey, a little bit more, I suppose, structured around tenure and how long you're in a certain role, whereas here it's no, if you perform, if you hit your, if you prove yourself, absolutely move on. And I love that. I really love that about this role.
Yeah, especially because there is always kind of, when you don't have this clear, like you literally have a dashboard where you can track everything you need to achieve, so you can have full control with that. But a lot of other companies, and from my experience, I know that it's a lot about like how well you go with the manager, how well you do that. So it's a lot of things which are not written down. So even if you reach your targets, you're like, no, but you missed that and that. It's like, yeah, but you never told me that, what's going on. So it's definitely cool that you have like such a good structure there. Even like for team leader, for manager position, everyone has a very clear progression structure.
Yeah. 100%. And of course, also with that comes flexibility if you wanted to change that path and not move in, in sales. There's also opportunities to jump to other teams and get experience with other areas as well, which I think is also pretty cool and relatively unique as something a little bit different. So I guess, no, that's amazing. Thank you for that, Diana. In terms of kind of final question and starting to wrap up, I do want to touch on one small thing. One small thing, but a very important thing. In terms of the women in sales piece, I guess I've touched on it. I've mentioned it a few times already that we are a unique team. The CEE team is primarily females, which I think is amazing. And we keep the boys in check, but we are just a small representation of the wider sales floor and the wider sales community at HubSpot. I think there is this common and ongoing misconception that sales is a male-orientated space. And of course, the industry is not balanced. It's still not balanced. There's still room for change and room for positive, progress. And I think HubSpot is doing a lot. But of course, we can still do more. There's always space for more. But I think our group demonstrates that, things are changing, given that we are primarily female. We are dominating as a team. We're great. We're doing really well in terms of hitting our quota. But I guess my question is to for all of you guys, what advice would you give to a woman looking to break into the sales industry? And I want to hear from everybody, but maybe Jurate, will kick off with you.
Okay. I think, and I don't want to go back to financial again and again and again, but I have to, because I'm a single parent of a daughter who's 16, and I think sales is so financially rewarding. I'm taking home more as a single mother than two parents are taking home. I can provide my daughter just such a better support financially, and I think as a woman, that's so important to me. It's so important anyways, that I have that freedom to give my daughter anything basically she wants. So I think that's really important for me financially, that support, and we're just so well compensated. I just say go for it.
Amazing.
Yeah, I like how in the interview people are like, oh, why do you go into sales? And people are a bit afraid of saying money because they're like, I like to help people. Yes, but let's be honest, it's also the money. It's still sales. It's not the easiest job out there.
For sure. No, 100% agree. It was something I specifically remember being afraid to say in my interview. And then when I said it, everyone's like, yeah, of course. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So definitely the tip from Jurate, go for it. Don't be afraid to say that, money is something you're looking for. I think from my experience, I saw that the best performing teams are mixed teams. And I literally saw it in 2 years of my career in one company, where you can see the performance was moving very, very positive as soon as more girls joined, and negative straight away when they get more majority men. So it's really good to have a balance. But I feel like it's also how people view sales. I don't know, it's just somebody cold calling all the time, oh, he said no, I never touch this person again, or just trying to chase the people without giving the opportunity to, if they say no, it's okay, right? So I think this kind of relationship building suits women generally very well, because you need empathy, you need understanding, and the sales environment changed. There's still companies who are the cowboy sales, but I think most companies like HubSpot and a lot of SaaS businesses, they're very much about relationship building. You're selling an expensive product, a long-term commitment, so it's very important, and I think women are very suitable for that. But I would
true.
So exactly, it's I think at the beginning when I did that, I was a bit scared, if I sit into the 5 directors, they're all male, will they even listen to me, considering I'm women and younger than them? But they do, because they know, you're working this sector, better. Mm-hmm. So definitely don't be afraid to go for that. It's very suitable for women as a position generally.
I love that, the relationship piece. Yeah, I totally agree that. And I personally, I constantly say it in our kind of team meetings and, any development trainings that we have, that I very much view myself as more of a consultative seller, someone that kind of positions myself as a consultant, coming in, developing a relationship, solving for the challenges the company is facing. And yeah, I've kind of proven to myself that, sales isn't this cowboy land where, you're just cold calling and kind of almost bullying people into something that they don't want. It's completely night and day. The type of role I wanted to grow into, but also just, the type of, in general, what sales is. I guess I had a total misconception. Diana, what do you think?
I'm actually originally from Romania, where sales positions are held by women, and they're doing an absolutely amazing job selling. And when I moved to Ireland, it was a bit surprising to see that the balance have shifted, because I know how well women can do in sales. I've seen that happen over and over again, software companies and other companies with different profiles, but women are really good at selling, and I've seen that happen. So if you're a woman looking to get into this profession, just go for it. There's a network of amazing women that are here ready to support you and encourage your growth. And there's a lot of room to grow and expand. So go for it.
Amazing. Yeah, I totally underline everything you said there in terms of the network and support, both inside of HubSpot, we have a great network of females on the sales floor, but in general, this kind of sales community in Dublin, globally, and so on. But yeah, I think from my side, what's been interesting is when I joined HubSpot, I never really thought about a female going into a sales role. And I don't know, I've tried to reflect on it a little bit. I don't know whether that was just selfishly, I was just terrified of doing the role itself, and I was focusing on me performing in the job and not really thinking about the bigger picture, or why I didn't think about it. And in some ways it's been really positive. I never even felt, despite the imbalance or not having as many females on the sales floor, I never felt that, which I think is a huge positive, that I never had to think about it until it became kind of a topic of discussion in general, that, from webinars or podcasts or other things that I was starting to dive into as I was trying to grow in my sales career, that it kind of became a topic that surfaced. But I never felt the kind of imbalance on my team at any point, having worked as a business development rep on the Nordics team, and now on the CEE team, where we're dominating. So it's the total opposite. It's more the boys we should be asking their feedback, whether they feel there's too little diversity for them. But no, I think it's great. I think as a general, women bring so much to the table. Diana, like you say, they're leading their sales role in Romania and dominating, and I'm not surprised, because you girls or guys or ladies have kind of touched on all the important things in terms of where we stand out, or where we might have some potential strengths compared to the guys, in terms of developing that relationship nurture kind of consultative sale approach, also our kind of tight-knit network and support system. And in general, just a team performs better when there's diversity. And I think that was huge. I know that you mentioned there that, having a diverse team makes for a better team. I wholeheartedly agree on that. And I think it's been great to see that on our CEE team specifically, where we have not only the male, female, but the differences in terms of culture, our backgrounds, how we came to HubSpot, where we came from, our experience prior, how we've grown in the company, how long we've been here. I think it's just amazing the amount of diversity that exists, and I love it. I love coming to the team then and having that, because I think we grow so much better then. We constantly have different opinions and different kind of feedback and different ideas to kind of to pull on and educate each other and grow.
It's super special.
For sure. Well, thank you for taking the time to listen to the viewers of this. I hope this was a helpful and kind of insightful session just to learn a bit more about the team, about what it's like to work as a female on the sales floor and what it's like to work at HubSpot. I think, as we've all mentioned at various points in this segment, we are growing rapidly, and we're always hiring. So if anyone is interested, just follow the link in the description or head over to our careers page. You can also reach out to any of us on LinkedIn. I think I'll speak for everyone that we're more than happy to support if there's any questions, or anything else that we can share.
Girls and boys.
Yeah, girls and boys. Don't discriminate. But But yeah, I think this has been great, guys. Thank you so much.